For those wanting to fish this summer, some restrictions have recently been placed along the Yellowstone River. Ren Wadsworth reports on where and why these restrictions have been put in place.
Several days of high temperatures and low water flows have experts concerned and limiting fishing in areas here along the Yellowstone River. Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks enforces angling fishing restrictions when conditions fall below optimal. This is to protect fish that become more susceptible to sickness and death in bad conditions. Conditions like persistent high temperatures and below average water flows, both of which FWP has seen recently in areas along the Yellowstone River. FWP says that by restricting fishing to the morning hours, this could help reduce catch and release deaths and added agitation to wild fish facing heat-induced stress. These are officially called Hoot-owl restrictions and limit fishing hours between 2 p.m. and midnight. River access sites east of Livingston all the way to Laurel will see these restrictions in place until conditions improve. FWP says if current conditions continue, fishers may want to move to areas where conditions are less stressful, like larger or higher bodies of water, to help keep our fish and our food safe. Ren Wadsworth, Nonstop Local.
Well, according to Fish, Wildlife and Parks, no one knows for certain, but the term hoot owl seems to date back to the early logging days in the Pacific Northwest.
John, that's absolutely right. During late summer, the danger of wildfire caused by logging activity increased in the late afternoon hours due to hotter temperatures, stronger winds, and evaporation of morning dew. Consequently, logging crews rose early to work during the safest time of day and left the forest in the early afternoon. Now, FWP says multiple owl species call frequently at sunrise, and the hooting at some point was used to describe the loggers' early work schedule. Now, in the early 2000s, FWP began applying that term to new restrictions on summer trout angling, giving fishermen the go-ahead to fish only from midnight to 2 p.m., which were the coolest hours, and thus hoot owl.
I see what you did. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. For a second, I was like, wait, what are we? Oh, that's very, very cool. Okay, so we're not gonna talk about I had a whole thing about diurnal owls, the ones that are in the daytime and the nighttime. We won't talk about that. But no, that's really, really interesting as they're out there with this heat and the water flow and all that kind of stuff. I mean, what did you kind of notice as you were out there?
Yeah, I was out there in the hours that they were suggesting to not fish, and yeah, it was hot. It was really hot out there. So I'm kind of getting why they're saying, you know, maybe leave the fish alone when it's getting hot. You know, it's probably not best for you to even be out there, much less, you know, giving added stress to the fish species.
Ren Wadsworth, you tied together something I had no idea was going to take place. Gosh darn it, Ren Wadsworth, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Hey, before we head off to break, here's a look